inside it. That's the sound that accompanies me every morning. Along on this process. Step by step, how I sew my own Amish dresses by hand. So simple in appearance. Most profound acts already woven into my life. Else, I need to explain what an Amish dress actually means. An Amish sewing. There's intention. If you're new here, this is the perfect moment to subscribe to the channel. Every week I share a little more about this world, about simple living. And go ahead and leave a comment below. Which part of this topic sparks your curiosity the most? Every comment, and they often inspire the next videos. Back to the sewing. Everything starts with the fabric. I never use a machine at this selection stage. The right cloth is, for me, a ritual all its own. Without prints. Each Amish community has its own rules about which colors are allowed, and even within my own personal practice, I try to respect that logic of sobriety. The fabric needs to be made to last one season. I wash the cloth before cutting. Now, the finished dress could shrink after its first wash. I let it dry naturally in the sun because that natural process is also part of the philosophy. With the fabric ready, I begin preparing the pattern. Patterns are made by hand, often passed down from mother to daughter. I learned mine from a friend who grew up in an Amish community in Pennsylvania. The pattern isn't just a reference for measure. It's also a form of humility. The dress must cover the body modestly. There's no rushing in this process. Every cutting mistake means wasting material that taking a deep breath before each line. Once cut, the fabric is ready to receive the needle. What I love most begins hand sewing. Cotton thread, usually in a color that matches the fabric. The most commonly used stitch is the backstitch because it guarantees strength on the main seams. If you're enjoying learning about this process, this is a great moment to leave a like and stick with me until the end. Part of all, the final hem of the dress. But the simplicity here is the result of a lot of practice, not a lack of care. Exist to allow room for movement, so a woman can work, tend to the house. Collars tend to be high and discreet, closed with small metal fasteners called hooks and eyes. Extra patience. Because they're small pieces that need to be perfectly aligned so the dress closes correctly and comfortably. While I sew, I like to think about the women who came before me in this craft.
Like that, dear. Keep the stitches even.
I think I have it now, Grandmother.
There's no formal school for it. There's shared life, there's repetition. A complete Amish dress can take between 12 and 20 hours of manual labor. Depending on the complexity of the design and the skill of the person sewing it, there's no shortcut. Even the sewing machine, when used within certain more liberal communities inside the Amish tradition, but in my own personal process, I choose to do everything by hand, from start to finish, honoring this heritage even more. If this video is teaching you something new, don't forget to leave a comment down below. Share. I love learning where everyone who ends up here comes from, and what stories you bring with you too. Delicate step of the entire process. Straight, without waves. Worked very close to the fold. And early in my journey, it took me months before I could produce a hem that satisfied me. Beyond the dress itself, there's also the apron, an inseparable piece of the traditional Amish outfit. It protects the garment underneath during household chores and reinforces. That's something I learned over the years, and it completely changed my relationship with sewing in general. Before, I used to sew thinking about how pretty the piece would look. Now I think about how the piece will serve, how it will An important point that a lot of people ask about in the comments is, and those rules vary depending on the region and the specific group within the tradition. I also get a lot of questions about the materials I use besides cotton. In some cases, for winter dresses, I use heavier fabrics, like fine wool or denser blends, tones. This helps keep the body warm during the colder months. When I finally finish a dress, I feel a satisfaction that's hard to put into words. It's the pride of having completed a complex handmade project. A user prompt provides a specific Amish women over their hair, even though it's not technically part of the dress. Of simplicity and function. Usually made from lightweight white fabric, the cap covers hair pulled back into a discreet bun. Sewing a cap requires a different technique than sewing the dress. Maybe in a future video, I'll dedicate an entire episode just to that process. So go ahead and let me know in the comments if that's a topic you'd like to see covered in more depth here. Set aside exclusively for sewing.
You pull the thread through.
Like this, Anna.
That is much better. Like these that truly bind us together, Mary.
They surely do. The winter days pass quicker with good company.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching so attentively. This kind of content is made exactly for people like you, people who value slow processes. Constant rush that dominates so many areas of our lives today. I also want to share a little about how I found my way into this craft, because a lot of people ask me that in the comments. I wasn't born into an Amish community. I grew up in an ordinary Pennsylvania when I was still young. That image stayed with me for years, until I finally decided to learn the craft for real. The learning process wasn't fast.
My pleats were uneven.
More than once, I had to unpick an entire dress and start over from scratch. But every mistake taught me something no quick class ever could. That effect, it demands presence. You can't sew an Amish dress while distracted, rushed, or anxious. Senses that. Final result always reveals the state of mind of the person who sewed it. Over time, I came to understand that this process is also a form of connection to history. Amish dresses, as we know them today, have roots that go back to the 8th century. Over the centuries while always keeping the same core principle. The way even shapes the way I choose thread for sewing. Thread without any shine. Another point I like to highlight is the question for small children's garments. Speaking of children, a lot of people ask whether children's follow the same rules as adult dresses. And the answer is yes, with small adaptations. Children learn from an early age to dress within this aesthetic of simplicity. And it's precisely by watching their mothers sew that many girls first develop an interest in sewing themselves. It's a tradition built through daily life together, far from manuals or tutorials. Far. I imagine you already sense how much this process goes far beyond simply sewing a piece of fabric.
There's history here, there's faith, there's community, there's memory.
I decided to document this process on video.
It's also worth mentioning the care that goes into storing and preserving these pieces once they're finished.
This extra care is another reflection of the mindset of durability that governs the entire. When I think about how many hours I've already dedicated to this craft, I understand why so many people outside these communities find themselves drawn to this way of life. We live surrounded by technology, by mass. Hand sewing an Amish dress is a quiet counterpoint to all of that. That quality and purpose still matter. Move faster every day. Before I wrap up, I want to share a reflection. We live in a world where everything is made to be fast, disposable, replaceable. Hand sewing an Amish dress is the complete opposite of that. Every stitch is a reminder that some things still deserve time, care, and intention. And maybe that's exactly why so many people, even outside these communities, feel drawn to this world. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow the next episodes of this journey.